Hello, everyone. We're going to talk for a few minutes about the volume of right prisms and how we can find the volume of all different kinds of right prisms. Now, before you've seen this video, I'm assuming that you've looked at how do you find the volume of a rectangular prism. And there's sort of a simple formula that everyone uses for volume of a rectangular prism, and it's simply volume of a rectangular prism equals length times width times depth or times height, depending on how you're looking at it. I like to call it times depth because I'm looking at a shape often going sort of back from the front, which is the base here, kind of going deeper back. So I call it depth, but you can call it height. I like it as depth for a reason that you'll see later as well. Okay. And a lot of students just memorize that, and that's fine. And then you can always solve that. But if you really, I want you to think about why is it length times width times depth? That's just not a random formula. And the reason is because the real way to find the area of any prism is to find the area of the base and then multiply that by the height or the depth. Okay. And in this case, so we're looking at this shape right here. In this case, we're looking at a square. And the way to find a square is to find the length or find the area of a square is to find length times width. So 4 times 4 in this case, length times width is our formula for area of a square. And then what we do is we multiply it by the depth. So let's look at that calculation here. So sure enough, okay, there we have it. So volume equals 4 times 4 times 15, okay? Now, the other thing that's important to remember is that we measure volume in centimeters or units cubed. And the reason we do that is for this reason, because we have centimeters, centimeters, centimeters. We're multiplying 3 times, which means that centimeter is not square like in a area formula where we do centimeter times centimeter, but it's 3 times, so you get centimeters cubed. And there's the answer right there. The volume in this case equals 4 times 15, which is 240 centimeters cubed. So easy enough when we're looking at a rectangular prism. It's going to be really helpful to know this looking at other prisms, but we have to sort of understand why. Okay, so now we're looking at a triangular prism. Now, if I tried to do length times width times depth here, it would not work for me because I am not doing a rectangular prism anymore. And a lot of students say, okay, now I'm stuck, but that's not true. Because as we discussed before, what you really need to do to find volume is to find the area of the base times the depth. And you know how to find the area of the base of a triangle. So let's take a look. So in this case, volume is area of base times depth. And hopefully most of us recognize that for this triangular face right here, the formula for area is base times height divided by 2. Okay, so base times height divided by 2. That's another reason I like to use times depth and not times height, because then we get height twice in some of these formulas. So base times height divided by 2, you guys know that's the area of a triangle. You've known that for a long time, times depth. So how does that work out for this particular shape? Well, so that means that the volume in this case is 5 for the base times 8 for the height divided by 2 and then multiplied by 12. And once again, I just want to point out so we can start to get it sort of stuck in our minds that we're looking at centimeter, centimeter, centimeter. So we know that our answer is going to be in centimeters cubed. Okay, so there I found the area of the triangular face, and notice I put centimeters squared because I found the area. That first part there is the area of the base, so my answer is immediately in centimeters cubed or square, and then I multiply it one more time times 12, which is that depth, and I get 240 centimeters cubed. Okay, and again, because we're going from centimeters square times centimeters again, so that's why we wind up with centimeters cubed. So pretty easy. As long as I know how to find the area of the triangle, then I know how to find the volume of the entire shape. Same idea holds true for a trapezoid. Now, by this point in grade 7, you know the area formula for what a trapezoid is, right? It's a rather complicated one, but you guys have learned it. And this trapezoid here gives you everything you need to find the area of this trapezoid face right here. This face is what we're looking at because it's the base for this rectangular prism. So I have all my measurements. So again, area, the volume equals area of the base times the depth. I can find the area of the base. It's base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. And then at the end, I'm going to add the depth. I'm putting brackets in myself just to remind me to finish all of the area of the base before I multiply anything times the depth. Let's punch in all the numbers here. So volume equals 3 plus 5 times 5 divided by 2. So I do all that calculation. And at the end, I'm going to multiply by that depth, which is this 10 centimeters right here. So there we did most of that. Okay, I did some of it. I'm doing in steps. Okay, and I wind up with an area for this trapezoid of 20 centimeters squared, and I still need to multiply it by 10 centimeters, and that's going to wind up giving me 200 centimeters cubed. Okay. And what's kind of cool about this is this also allows you to find the volume of shapes that you don't even necessarily have a formula to find the area of their base. So for example, this is an octagonal prism because the base here has 8 sides. It's an octagon, okay? At this point in grade 7, you haven't officially at least learned any formula for the area of an octagon, but I've given you an area here, okay, 24 centimeters squared. Okay, so that area is there already for you. So that means that you can go right ahead and find the volume of this shape, even though you don't actually know how to find the surface area of that octagon yet. So again, volume equals area of base times depth, and you have the area of the base. There it is, 24 centimeters squared. So the volume equals 24 centimeters squared multiplied by the 20 centimeters, the 20 centimeters depth. And that's going to equal 480 centimeters cubed. And one more time, just point out that we had the area measurement with centimeters square, and we multiply that one more time by one other set of centimeters, and that's why we end up with centimeters cubed. So hopefully now the formula length times width times depth makes a little bit more sense for you, and now you know how to apply it to all different shapes and sizes of regular prisms as well.